So since you're both guitar players, how did you find your way to guitar and at what age?
I started playing from whenever I could remember, but my dad played a lot, just kind of sitting around the house singing songs, and there was kind of had guitars around. So really, I kind of got interested in it at a really young age, and then kind of moved to piano for a little while, did some like lessons and formal training with that, but kind of always gravitated towards guitar, so it's been something that's kind of been with me my whole life.
And when did you start playing?
I was probably 9 or 10, but I had kind of, my dad played guitar, and there was always a guitar laying around. And at some point I was like, hey, teach me some chords.
We're guitar players by trade, but I think my motivation for playing guitar was always learning songs. It was never, for me at least, it wasn't about, shredding and being able to just, have a lot of dexterity or do Olympic events on the guitar. It was about facilitating songs, and kind of digging into that, the mystery of that, and figuring out, why did the song go there, and it's following what the vocal melody is doing or whatever, So that's sort of intuitive kind of playing, just kind of getting a better understanding of the kind of the framework of the song.
Learn the language, really, right?
Yeah, the language of songs, more than like the language of guitar. Because I still as a guitar player, I still find myself watching guitar players that are just guitar players. They're not songwriters, or they're not like, they kind of approached it from the angle of, if like, hey, I need to play some like chicken picking James Burton kind of lick, or like I need you to play like some blues rock stuff or whatever. Right. And it's just like they can,
like a session player.
Yeah,
or something.
Totally.
Yeah.
They can just dial it up, and I certainly appreciate and admire that.
I remember vividly when I was probably 9 years old, and I was trying to learn switching from a G chord to a C chord without lifting all my fingers off the fretboard and then resetting them down. It's like very small movement. You really don't have to move far to go back and forth between those chords. But I was just so frustrated. I would play one and I would have to like lift everything off the fretboard and then reset them. And I remember I would get so frustrated, like I quit, I'm not doing this. And then I remember one night laying in bed, and I was just thinking about it and like visualizing, and it was just visually like playing it over and over. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, that's easy. And I got up out of bed in the middle of the night, picked up my guitar, and I could do it. And it was just a weird, it's like with anything, I think visualizing is like, helpful.
Or dreaming in a foreign language. That's how you know you're fluent, right?
Right.
I feel the same way about my craft, writing. You know what I mean? Like, I think about what order words should go in, or, so I totally get that of like, you practice while you're asleep. Yeah. It doesn't really end, right? Like once you're in it, you're in it. Yeah. Whether it's guitar, whether it's singing, whatever it is, once you learn that it strikes a chord,
right. There you go.
I think you can't avoid it. And you're right, like some people start off playing and you have that for the rest of your life. It's like everyone plays high school football.
Totally.
But how many people make it to the pros? Doesn't mean that athleticism or sportsmanship isn't taken into their life. Right? It's the same way with music. It doesn't mean that you have to be a rock star. You can still have that benefit.
Sure.
Whether you do it professionally or not.
I think the biggest thing really for music is, if you can pick up an instrument at a young age, and it's just something you can have in your life, And for us, we've been fortunate enough that like something we love to do, we're able to make our livelihood doing it, but that's certainly not something that's necessary with music, I'm around people and ourselves as well. We're just huge fans of playing music and having it, something for enjoyment, something you can share with your friends and your family. Just a cool thing to be able to do.
Singing before me, he'll sing this song, trying to remind you just to right the wrong.